Testing, testing, 1 2 1 2. Testing, testing, louder, 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 louder. All good? Good afternoon and welcome to Avenger Park for this massive NPL Victoria men's contest. It's round 16 between Avondale and Melbourne Knights. An opportunity for Avondale to return to the top of the table with a win today against the bottom place Melbourne Knights, who are desperately seeking for victory and to get themselves closer to safety this season. My name is Nick Tabano and it's great to have your company here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Of course, the appetizer to what is a huge day of football here in Victoria, with not only this contest and Altona taking on Preston Lions over the other side of the West Gate at Paisley Park, but the A-League Men's Grand Final tonight between Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City. But all focus is here in Melbourne's north, here in Parkville, for this huge game. A lot on the line for both of these two teams, particularly for the visitors, who are without a win now since March 30. Their last win coming all the way back against St Albans at home, but looking for their first win on the road in 286 days, coming all the way back in the final round of last season against Green Gully. A win for them can get them level with the sides that are outside the drop zone in South Melbourne. Melbourne Victory and, of course, St Albans, all those teams, that little bit of a logjam, and will get them into... for potentially his first league appearance of the season. He's joined in that starting lineup, of course, by Tom Manos, Daniel Edwards, Manny Agwek, Kerr, Christian Trycheski, Emlyn Wellsmore, Jackson Courtney Perkins, Yusuf Ahmed and Kalalu Kamara. Meanwhile, for Melbourne Knights, they have also made just the one change. Stephen Lawless comes into the starting lineup. Darcy Anastovsky heads to the bench, and Masatu Chiba is back from injury and in the squad tonight. Joseph Lettieri drops out altogether. Rounding out that starting 11 for Melbourne Knights is Gabriel Marti, Ben Carrigan, Thomas Karlovich, Leo Marzi, Steve White, Kieran Bramwell, Fraser Dunlop, Dion Nicolaides, Tom Werndl and Jack Morton. And it will be Melbourne Knights kicking things off in their light blue away kits. Avondale in their traditional home blue, going from left to right. All set and ready to go. Referee Uber Arslan making sure everything's in order. And we're underway here at Avenger Park. It's Avondale up against Melbourne Knights, second versus last. Melbourne Knights have never beaten Avondale at Avenger Park, and looking to turn the tide on that and turn the tide on what's been a disappointing season. John Markovski in his second game in charge now after defeat last week against South Melbourne at home. Hoping for a response today. Here's Marzi getting down the byline here. Well defended by Yite Towns. Tavir. Advantage called as Trycheski inboard towards Kerr. Wellsmore. Forced to retreat to Daniel Edwards, again deputising in centre-back. No Aidan Bryce and Matty Reid in the squad for Avondale. Welcome sight to see the two of them warming up pre-game, and perhaps their returns might not be too far away, which would significantly bolster this Avondale team that during this run, without the likes of Aidan Bryce and Reid, they've had some defeats, particularly those games against Green Gully and Heidelberg that stand out, but have since been able to turn the tide in the last couple of weeks, recording some wins in both the Cup and the League against the likes of Manningham the other night in the Cup, and then Port Melbourne last week, where they really had to work for it against the League's second last team on the table, and against the Oakley Cannons the week before that, where they were just ruthless against the reigning champions, completing the double over them this year. Tavir, all the way back to Kamara. This Avondale side blessed with so much depth. You look at even some of the other absentees in Stefan Valentini and George Ott. This team's so deep, particularly in those attacking areas. The envy of the rest of the league with all that talent on display. And here is Emlyn Wellsmore. Just sit on the ball a bit here, Avondale, and particularly this Avengers side with so much depth as well at left back, which is really brought to the fore with the return of Blake Carpenter. Daniel Edwards, of course, has been their nominal choice at left back, and Emlyn Wellsmore has slotted in there as of late, with Courtney Perkins playing a bit deeper at right back. So it will be fascinating once they have a full complement back, particularly Aidan Bryce and Matt Reid, what that means to that defensive makeup. And with Carpenter, who's been a mainstay of this Avondale team for a number of years, whether he also slots back in once he gets a few minutes in the legs. Defensive setup from the visitors, not allowing a lot of space for Avondale to get in behind. Of course, it is Zoran v. John in the... Both Markovskis going head-to-head for the second time this year. Kerr just keeps it alive. Feigned one way and goes back the other and finds his man in Tavir, cutting inside and looks to feed it through Trycheski, but the flag is up. And denies Manny Agwek yet another goal. Just seamless in the way that Avondale are able to carve through sides when they're up and about. And that man there, Manny Agwek, has just been in red-hot form. 11 goals this season. Picked up right where he left off in 2023. Of course, spent the back end of 23 and 24 playing for Balzan in Malta. Has really reclaimed his spot in the starting lineup for Avondale, with George Ott missing, and has not only solidified himself in the starting lineup for Avondale, but he has solidified himself as one of the top strikers in this league. Battling with the likes of Bourgeois and Joe Guess for that golden boot this season. Kamara. Of course, the last time that Zoran and John went head-to-head, it was John in the dugout of Port Melbourne at this venue. Since departing the Sharks and joining Melbourne Knights to replace Ivan Franjic. Here's Tavir into the area and looking for Trycheski at the back post, and see which way the assistant chooses, but it's off an Avondale player last, and it's out for a throw-in. Bramwell, contest there with Kamara, a big collision on this near side. Kieran Bramwell's been such a bright spark for Melbourne Knights now, his third season at the club. The player was brought in when former coach Ben Kahn took the Knights to the finals, and been a mainstay of their side ever since, but really in the last season and a half, particularly last season, taking his game to another level and starting to see the quality that we saw in bits at Perth Glory. Free kick awarded here to Avondale. Really beautiful day here in Melbourne, not too much wind, nice Saturday afternoon for football. So we head into winter tomorrow. It's a beautiful day to usher in the colder months. There's a throw in here to the Knights. They cut inside and play it towards the run of Bramwell. Trycheski, Tavir. Well ushered there by Jack Morton. Front row today for the Knights of Marzi, Dunlop and Bramwell. To see Leo Marzi back in the squad in the last few weeks after a serious injury early in the season. But they lost both him and Josh Carrance in round 2, which was just a hammer blow to Melbourne Knights' attacking stocks, but good to see Marzi back. Here's Kerr feeding it through towards Trycheski. Times his run well, but ball on the deck. He's met there by Gabriel Mati, who did well to get down to his right and make the stop. Mati, of course, the nominal choice now between the sticks for Melbourne Knights. Chris Oldfield's out with injury at the moment, opening the door for Mati. Return to the club this off-season after a few years playing for Strathmore Split. Courtney Perkins does well there to keep possession. He feeds it short there to Yui Ahmed. Good to see him as well returning in the last couple of months. Injury really riddled him of the 2024 campaign, where he missed a lot of football in the back end of the year, and the start of this season as Kamara's ball in behind, well defended by Nicolaides, and Mati sends it long. Dunlop wins the header. Now a chance for Karlovic. Inboard to Morden. Carrigan. Werndl. Going to step forward. Diagonal ball straight to Dan Edwards, and Courtney Perkins able to knot it on, and Tavir now has the ball in an absolute acre in the middle of the park. Out wide here to Kerr. Sort of ride the challenge, and Kerr wins the free kick. Such a dynamic player. He's been such a joy to watch since joining Avondale at the start of last season. Perhaps not as many goals as last season for Kerr, but still had his moments. Here's Yui Ahmed. Looking for the run there of Trycheski. Keeps it alive. Plays it into the area. Tavir's waiting as is Kerr. He's able to actually keep it in. I'm just not sure if it was a bit of a miss kick or whatever it may have been. And the play will stop for a second here. There's a Melbourne Knights player down on that far side. And call for the physio here. So an early stoppage in play. Getting confirmation of who that is on the far side. I believe it's Thomas Karlovic. So an early change in the offing here for Melbourne Knights. Alex Hurd is stripped and ready to go to come on in his place. Alex Hurd has been one of the main choices at fullback throughout this season. 9 starts in 15 appearances for the youngster. And Tom Karlovic like his afternoon is going to come to an end, which is a disappointing sign for him. There's Karlovic exiting on that far side, and Alex Hurd on in his place. So an early substitution here for the visitors. The former Western United youth player, Alex Hurd. Obviously a very famous surname in this state. Son of Essendon legend James. Getting his opportunity here. So play will continue here from the drop ball. Avondale did have possession last. Really has been Avondale with the bulk of possession early. Knights trying to sit back and play off the break. As Bramwell looking to put Matos under pressure. And that's going to be out for a throw in there to Avondale. And words of encouragement coming from John Markovski. Pleased with what he's seeing with the press putting on that Avondale defence. Courtney Perkins through to Agwek. Goes to ground, and another free kick awarded here to Avondale. Edwards out towards Ahmed. Slowing things down and playing it short to Wellsmore. Trajewski. All the way back to Kamara, who's gone back to Manos, who's under pressure from Bramwell. Did well to work his way through it. Did Thomas Manos. Wellsmore. Here's Tavir. Looking for the run there of Kerr. He's in a load of space here on this far side. Isolated with Nicolaides. Kerr cuts inside on his left. Plays it along the deck. Trajewski couldn't get it out from underneath him. Nodded away. But it will be coming back. Towns. Kamara. Kerr. A bit of invention to find Trajewski, but his cross was scuffed and it's out for a goal kick. Just wasn't able to steer that one into the box. Was Christian Trajewski, a rare error from the crafty midfielder. That attack results to naught. Just looking at the bench for these two sides, of course, Melbourne Knights forced into that early change, but Stefan Bresovic, Darcy Anastovsky, Mark Patheriotis, Masadu Chiba and Aidan Vuletic on the bench for the Knights. Also without Kane Shepherd yet again are the visitors, as Manos under pressure there from Bramwell. Turned over, here's Morton, looking to feed it through. And getting back is Courtney Perkins, who does really well to turn one way and back the other and clear it up the field. Agwek under pressure there from Werndl, but well worked from Melbourne Knights number 21, Carrigan. Marty. Pressure there from Agwek and managed to scoop it out to Carrigan. Knights win the throw, and looking at that bench for Avondale, just so stacked. You look at Stefan Zini, Sian Cuba, Joey Katabian, Ethan Pisani, and Mayan all on the bench today, and still some outs for Avondale, as we mentioned off the top. No Aiden Bryce, no Matt Reid, no George Ott, no Stefan Valentini. An embarrassment of riches do the Avengers have waiting in the wings. Ahmed. Looking to feed it through towards the run of Kerr, but well work there from Hurd. It's cleared out for a throw. Just over 15 minutes played, still waiting for really the first chance on goal in this game, let alone the opener. Either side really been able to fashion an opening just yet. Kamara feeding it through the lines, and Tavir lets it run and puts on the afterburners here, Luca Tavir. Going to drive through, but well worked there from Werndl. Here's Marzi looking for the run of Bramwell, but a desperate challenge from Courtney Perkins. Did well to get there before the West Australian. Trajewski turns one way, back the other, and looking for the run of Kerr, and looks to feed it through towards Manny Agwek, and it was a beautiful pass from Trajewski. But the flag is up against Agwek, and it's, even though Agwek didn't get on the end of it, and coming back for a free kick here to Melbourne Knights. Manny Agwek has scored in his last 4 games in the league. Goals against South Melbourne, a brace against Green Gully and Oakley, and did score the decisive goal last week against Port Melbourne. Hoping to add to his tally today and continue what has been such an impressive season to date. Playing for that Melbourne Knights defence to watch. That's for sure, as Courtney Perkins again forced to go back to Manos, and Leo Marzi putting him under all sorts of pressure, and Edwards able to coolly work his way out there from defence. Wellsmore turns it over. Hurd. White. Carrigan. Lovely ball to the top from Morton. Was looking for the run of Marzi, but it's well work there from the Avondale defence. Able to just essentially set up the wall and not allow one of those Knights defenders, or attackers, sorry, to get in behind. Edwards. Ahmed does well to wrestle the ball away there from Hurd, and he's still going here, Yui Ahmed. Just was looking for the run of Agweg. It falls here to Luca Tavir. Looking to feed it through towards Kerr. And well defended there from Werndl. And it's out for a corner. So good little passage there from Avondale, and they've particularly had a lot of joy when they've been able to get those quick switches out to this near side. Some good defending so far, particularly from Tom Werndl, denying Avondale a clear-cut opportunity in the early going. So Kerr now plays it in towards the back post, and Mati did well to collect and slow things down here for the visitors. Hurd. Able to win his side a throw in. Melbourne Knights only with 3 wins this year, of course, all coming at home. One in round 1 against Heidelberg, the wins against Port Melbourne and St Albans, but their form away from home has basically been non-existent, without a point away from home this season. Good to turn the tide today. Of course, we mentioned the last time that they won a game away from home was all the way back in August last year. Of course, it was the final game of last season against Green Gully. But it's been a long time between drinks for Knights away from Summer Street. Bramwell plays it along the deck looking for Morton. Hurd. Mara did well. Now a chance for Avondale to go. Tavir couldn't win it. White. Here's Nicolaides in a shooting position here. Kerr did well to put him under the pump. Marzi, well defended by Kerr to win it back, and he's looking to go back the other way. It's a late challenge there from Marzi. Trycheski looking back over the top towards Kerr. And Werndl was able to get there first and win his side a throw in. Well played there from Tommy Werndl. It is quite remarkable that Melbourne Knights have not been able to get a single point from their travels at all this season. From 6 games, only 3 goals scored, 17 conceded. We have a lot more of those games on the road in the second half of the year. Having already played 9 at home in the opening 15 games of the season. So if they're going to, get themselves out of the drop zone, they're going to have to get some points away from Summer Street, and they've got a big run of games coming up, which will lead to a little bit later. But if they can get something here, certainly kickstart their hopes of a second half of the season push. Kamara stepping forward, and his crossfield pass goes ricocheting off the head of Bramwell, but Dunlop was unable to feed it through. One back here for the Avengers. Trycheski back towards Tavir, rides the challenge of White. Nice little pirouette, and he wins his side a free kick. And Trycheski takes it quickly here to Courtney Perkins. Feeds it through to Kerr. Plays it on the deck on his right, and White was able to get across, and his challenge rolls through there to Marty. So a very well organised start from Melbourne Knights defensively. Frustrating Avondale, even though the Avengers have been able to break forward in midfield. It's just been particularly that final ball, which they've just been unable to break down what has been a stringent Melbourne Knights defence, as Nicolaidis looks for Marzi, but the flag is up against the Knights attacker. It's a big game as well for Avondale when you look at the ladder and see with a win today, they can get themselves back on top of the standings. Heidelberg last night coming from 2 goals down to get a draw against St Albans. And with Dandy Thunder winning late last night against Dandy City in the Dandy Derby, and Oakley recording a resounding win against Port Melbourne. The pressure's on really for Avondale behind them, but what a golden opportunity to wrestle back control of their hopes of securing top spot and the first piece of silverware on offer, at least in the league this season. Courtney Perkins. Here's Kerr. Edwards. Short to Edwards. Osmore under pressure there, but did well to step past his man and play short to Tavir. Kerr. Ahmed calling for it centrally. Still calling for it is the Avondale winger, but instead opted for the pass through to Tavir, and it's chopped off, but it will be coming back. Courtney Perkins. See that a low block from Melbourne Knights, really not giving Avondale any space in these sort of moments. Good discipline from the visitors. Kerr, Trycheski, and the flag is up again, and words of encouragement coming from the Knights bench. Been able to frustrate Avondale in the early going. And going with that back five to start the game, but shifting things ever so slightly now with Hurd on the field. A bit more attacking, but it's been that midfield three that's been able to act as that extra bit of shield when they've been able to get numbers back behind the ball. Avondale have just not been able to break them down with any sort of ease. Their best chances for the home side have really come in transition. Carrigan winning the header. Kerr. Ahmed. And here's Towns. Short to Courtney Perkins. Agwek. Well defended again. Tom Werndl has put in a big shift so far, not giving Hani Agwek any sort of room to turn him or get him behind. It's been a very professional performance from the former Altona Magic defender, of course, worked under John Markovski Back at Paisley Park in 2023 when Altona did make the finals that year. Tavir, short to Towns. Edwards. Ahmed. Back to Kamara. Here's Kerr. Feeding it through towards Trycheski in a crossing position. Plays it along the deck, but no Avondale players were in position. But it will be coming straight back. And fascinating to watch has been this battle within the battle between Towns and Stephen Lawless. Lawless really following Towns at every move. Haven't been able to get Towns into the game, who is Avondale's metronome in the middle of the park and setting things up from deep. They've done really well at taking him out of the game. It's a ball over the top there looking for Kieran Bramwell, but Manos did well coming off his line and puts it out into touch. Really good fight shown here from Melbourne Knights in the early going when they've been able to just keep this game level and not really allow Avondale to create any sorts of chances. And it's another attack that goes to waste. White. Here's Werndl. Werndl with the switching ball. Dunlop has heard offering in support on the overlap, and he whips it into the area. It was looking inboard, and Knights have taken the lead. It was a lovely ball into the area, and Stephen Lawless able to direct it into the bottom corner, and the visitors have taken a shock lead here at Avenger Park. It was well worked into the area, and Stephen Lawless just gliding in and able to place it past Tom Manos. And the Knights shockingly strike first here. And what a massive goal that could be in not only this contest, but if they're able to go on and get something from this game in their hopes of survival this season. They have never won at Avenger Park. In fact, they haven't beaten Avondale in 6 years. All sorts of streaks will come to an end if they're able to go on from here. But Stephen Lawless with the opener. He's third of the season. Stephen Lawless, of course, the NPL2 Best and Fairest winner back in 2023 with Werribee. Spent last season at Altona and now here at the Knights as Werndl's clearance goes well into touch. Don't worry, not enough on that one to make its way onto the City Link. So all's good for the drivers that are behind us in our commentary position as Kerr doesn't win the free kick, and Knights are looking to go again. Kamara winning the header. Here's Lawless. Has one to his name already. Looking back towards Bramwell, but well defended by Edwards. Courtney Perkins winning it back. A massive shock to the system here. As Knights a goal to the good. Who could have seen this one coming? Still plenty of time though in this one for Avondale to turn this one around. Tavir winning the free kick. Ahmed, great touching board. Steve White goes to ground. Free kick awarded there to Melbourne Knights. Long ball over the top looking for Marzi. Courtney Perkins does well to win the header. Tavir. Cutting through the middle. Out towards Ahmed. Players waiting in the middle, isolated here with Hurd. Ahmed drops the shoulder, gets to the byline. Well defended there from Marty. Coming off his line, he wins his side a goal kick. So good goalkeeping there from Gabriel Marty. And just a reminder about what this result would do for the standings if Knights do come away with the win. Looking at the live ladder right now, they would go into 13th. They would jump Port Melbourne, and that'd be goal difference behind a logjam of teams, all on 12 points. South Melbourne, Melbourne Victory and St Albans. Of course, Victory and South Melbourne meet tomorrow night at Lakeside Stadium. Ball over the top, and Marty, a big clearance, but the flag is up against the Avengers. St Albans with a goal difference of -7, Victory -11, South Melbourne -14, Melbourne Knights as of now -18. So they'd have to win big if they're able to make any more tracks on the table beyond just getting 3 points today and beyond just going up one position. So great start for the visitors. Avondale lose today. They won't fall on the standings at all. They'll miss that chance to jump Heidelberg on the standings and give themselves, or maintain that 5-point gap above Oakley, who are in third, and 6 points above fourth place Dandy Thunder. Courtney Perkins turns it over. Throw in here for the visitors. Wind in their sail at the moment for the visitors. That goal from Lawless, the difference here in the early going. Morton dinks it into the area. It's not a bad ball. Knocked down there towards Bramwell on the volley. But desperate defending. Avondale can clear. Trycheski. Kieran Bramwell really sized that one up, but it fell to a very dangerous position. Men just need to be careful. Well defended there from Alex Hurd, but it's Trycheski. He's able to win it back. Nicolaides, Werndl sends it long up the field. An opportunity potentially here for Marzi, but coming off his line was Manos. And the flag was up anyway against the Melbourne Knights attacker. So just over 34 minutes played here. In case you've missed it, Stephen Lawless with the opener for the visitors. And as Melbourne Knights, who have never won at this venue, haven't beaten Avondale in 6 years, and haven't won a road game since August last year, and are bottom of the ladder with a chance to potentially record a massive win here, and they've got themselves a free kick. Very encouraging signs here from Melbourne Knights. John Markovski will be very pleased with what he's seen. You can hear the words of encouragement coming from the Knights technical area, and so really Avondale a lot of the play early in this game and a lot more possession. Just haven't been able to really fashion a chance in this contest. Well, it's a free kick opportunity here, and Jack Morton, his sizing this one up. Perhaps a little bit too far to score, but the tall timber inside the area here for the Knights. As bit of a wrestle inside the box. It was Hurd that went to the deck, and Uga Arslan just going to have a quick word. The players in that little scrum on the edge of the 18-yard box. Again, still some limbs inside the box as Morton dinks it into the area. Manos quickly off his line and did well to collect, but unfortunately collected Yite Towns on the way through, and the standing Avondale captain has hit the deck. Courtney Perkins. Kerr. Here's Agwek. Well played there from Nicolaides to win it back. But Tavir, a strong challenge and plays it short to Trycheski. Wide to Ahmed. Isolated here with Hurd. Again drops the shoulder, gets to the byline and wins himself a corner for the Avengers. Well defended again there from Alex Hurd, who has a massive task going against Ahmed today. And held his own against the Avondale number 41. He has 3 goals to his name this season, 46 in Avondale colours. Has really been a mainstay of this Avengers attack for many years. Corner whipped into a dangerous position. There he is, Yusuf Ahmed. It's a straight back for Avondale. His 4th goal of the season. And we're level again. Able to find himself in a very dangerous position inside the 6-yard box. And Yusuf Ahmed able to steer it home with his head. And Melbourne Knights' lead is short-lived. Yusuf Ahmed on the score sheet. Goal number 47 for the Avengers. And like so many times before when they've needed someone to step up and score, Yusuf Ahmed has answered the call. A massive goal there for Avondale to bring the scores level. How can the Knights respond here? Had all the momentum, had Avondale really under pressure as Tavir with a lovely ball looking for Ahmed. It's about to bring it down. Trycheski turned over. Lawless getting it back. And here's Dunlop. Going to kickstart the attack here for Melbourne Knights. Wellsmore did well, and it's going to be a free kick there to the visitors. So just over 5 minutes plus stoppages remaining in the first half. Just as we started, both teams level. 1-1 as Hurd's ball into the area, went past Bramwell. Marzi chases it down. Well played there from Courtney Perkins to get a foot in, and Trycheski, the strong challenge, wanted the free kick, didn't get it. It's landed heavily has the Avondale midfielder, and he's still on the deck, and play though will continue. Morton, Lawless, Marzi, cuts inside Leo Marzi, fires on goal, Marzi, what a save from Manos. A brilliant stop there from the Avengers goalkeeper, getting down to his left to deny Leo Marzi, and Christian Trycheski is still on the deck, and after that heavy challenge, which didn't see Avondale win a free kick for it. Leo Marzi, though, that ensuing advantage, so close to restoring Melbourne Knights' lead. It's a great stop from Manos against his former team. Stretching with all his might to parry that one out for a corner, but the danger's not cleared completely yet. Ball whipped into the back post, but a bit too much curve on that one, and it's out for a goal kick. And really sprung into life over the last 15 minutes or so since that Stephen Lawless opener. Nui Ahmed answering straight back for Avondale with perhaps one of their only real great opportunities on goal. Goes to show how dangerous they are in front of goal. Leo Marzi with a great chance before that, or just after that, sorry, as Werndl, heavy collision with Courtney Perkins. And Avondale win the ball back. Tommy Werndl, though, has had a massive shift so far, really kept Manny Agwe quiet. Both him and Ben Carrigan have defended him very well in the early going. Edwards. Carrigan able to snuff out that attack and play it short to Hurd. Werndl. Marzi. Nicolaides can bring it under his control, and it's out for a throw-in. Towns. Short to Tavir. Now Edwards. Finds Ahmed. Ball's out of bounds against. Ahmed was unable to keep that one alive, and it's out for a throw-in. Just over 2 minutes plus stoppages remaining in this first 45. Will we see one more chance before the break for either team? Perhaps it might be for the home side as Trycheski looking to feed it through, but his pass took a deflection and rolls through to Werndl. And here's Marzi, great first touch. Rides the second challenge. He's got a bit of space here to burn here, does Leo Marzi. And he goes for goal himself. And it's over the bar, and Leo Marzi has been getting himself busy in the last couple of minutes. Towns under pressure there from Lawless. It's been a battle between those two this entire first half as Manos short to Edwards, looking to build up from the back. Ahmed breaks past Hurd, plays it short. Here's Courtney Perkins. All over the top looking for Trycheski. Werndl did well. Helped clear by Marzi. Dunlop wasn't able to stop the ball dead. Kamara. Tavir. Oh, it's a lovely ball through. Kerr times his run well. Can he get back on his left here, Kerr? It's to the byline. Still going. Plays it short. Tavir. Still going, Luca Tavir. Shot on goal, deflected through to Trycheski. But the flag is up. And Trycheski's goal is denied by the offside flag. Zagwek, who did well to that shot away, and it took a deflection straight through to Trycheski, but just offside was the Avondale attacking midfielder. So wait to see how much added time there will be. 45 minutes is up. There'll be 3 minutes of added time. We have a lengthy stoppage when Thomas Karlovic was forced off through injury. So a bit more time for both teams to perhaps fashion an opportunity before the break. Carrigan nods it forward. Head tennis there between both teams. Trycheski plays it through. Tavir has Kerr in support. Looks to play it through. Kerr's in behind. Oh, he just puts it wide. One-on-one there with Marti. But Kerr was just unable to steer it home. And a golden opportunity before the halftime break for Avondale. And Kerr unable to fire home his 5th of the season. Golden opportunity there for Avondale to really turn the momentum of this game and really changed the team talk, what it would have been about 15 minutes ago when they were behind, to go into the sheds leading by a goal. And a familiar feeling for the visitors, but Avondale still looking to put the Knights under pressure before the break. Ahmed through towards Trycheski. Wins his side a corner. Another opportunity here for the Avengers. Tavir plays it short. Trycheski floats it into the area. And behind for another corner. And the flag is up there against the Avondale attack, so the Knights can breathe a sigh of relief for the time being. Just slow things down heading into the shed. So it's been some games so far. Both teams with goals to their name. Looks like there's going to be a word there between Fraser Dunlop and referee Garazlan. Stephen Lawless opening the scoring for Melbourne Knights, but an equaliser through Yusuf Ahmed has this game brilliantly poised heading into half-time and beyond. Big game for both of these two teams. It's Werndl and Morton with a bit of a mix-up there, and now an opportunity here for Avondale. Here's Towns feeding through Kerr. He's in behind. Plays it back through towards Courtney Perkins. Saved by Mutz here and nodded home by Agwick. He can't stop scoring. And Avondale take the lead going into the half-time break. And Ugur Arslan blows for half-time. And what a turnaround here from the Avengers. They found themselves down a goal through Stephen Lawless. But in a matter of minutes, Avondale show their might and take the lead here heading into half-time. Goals from Yusuf Ahmed and Manny Agwek scoring his 12th of the season, continuing his rich vein of form, giving Avondale the lead. But a fantastic run there just before the break there from the Avengers to wrestle back control and put themselves in the driver's seat heading into half-time. And Melbourne Knights, for all the green shoots they showed in that first 45, find themselves behind yet again. And we'll be taking a short break here at Avenger Park. The score here, Avondale 2, Melbourne Knights 1. Welcome back to Avenger Park for Saturday afternoon football, round 16 NPL Victoria men's action. It's Avondale 2-1 up here against Melbourne Knights. A quick turnaround before the break from the Avengers has them in the lead. They found themselves behind courtesy of a Stephen Lawless goal, but then goals in quick succession from Yusuf Ahmed and Manny Agwek, with Agwek's goal coming with quite literally the final play of the first half, giving Avondale a 2-1 lead heading into the second half. And it looks like that the Avengers will be making a double substitution at the break. Sian Cuba getting ready to come on, as well as Ethan Pisani getting their opportunity here in the second 45. Zoran Markovski keeping things nice and fresh for this Avengers lineup. So just awaiting confirmation of who's going to be coming off. And it looks like it's going to be Jackson Courtney Perkins and Christian Trycheski, whose afternoon come to a premature end. But an opportunity here for Ethan Pisani, his third appearance of the season for the young centre-back. And Sian Cuba, player, of course, had, you could argue, his best ever season in NPL Victoria under John Markovski at the Altona Magic, coming on here. His second season at the Avondale for Cuba. Delayed start to this season, but he's on here for the final 45 of this contest as we get things underway. Avondale going in their traditional home blue kits, going from right to left. Melbourne Knights in their teal, going from left to right. A little bit of a soundtrack here to the start of the second half here from the Avondale DJ as well. As we get things underway, my name's Nick Tabano here, taking you through the remainder of this game here. Great to have your company on this beautiful Saturday afternoon in metropolitan Melbourne. Avondale able to hang on to 3 points here. They'll return to top of the table. Jumping Heidelberg, Melbourne Knights will remain rooted to the bottom of the standings as Dunlop's ball into the area. Wellsmore coolly clears it away. Kerr. Wellsmore hits the deck and wins a free kick here for the Avengers. Sian Cuba this season, only the 5 appearances, still yet to register a goal. Add to his 14 goals he had scored in NPL Victoria prior to this season. Here's Tavir. Edwards, who's shifted out to left back. Wellsmore to his more natural right back. Edwards as well, his more natural left back as well. He's one of the goal scorers, Ahmed. Pisani. Ahmed skips past Lawless. And has the run coming from Agwek and Edwards, and in the end it gets through to neither of his teammates, and out comes Gabriel Marti, who's able to collect. Well, one back by Tavir. Kerr got in the way was Towns, just not in the same wavelength were the two Avengers. Ahmed. Tavir twisting and turning, and it's turned over, and now a chance for Melbourne Knights back the other way. Here's Marzi. A couple of opportunities to hit the scoreboard already. Lawless, Cuba did well to get back, and it's cleared by Pisani. White. And here's Hurd. And Cuba with a audacious back pass all the way back to Manos, and Manos did well to clear it away. Nervous moment there for the Avondale goalkeeper, but they're able to work that one out and put it out into touch. Alex Hurd, of course, coming on in the first half for the injured Thomas Karlovic. It's yet to make another substitution in this contest, who have the likes of Darcy Anastovsky and Mark Patheriotis, Masadu Chiba as well. So got attacking options does John Markovski have to call upon? Stefan Brestovic as well on the bench. Centre back by trade as Tavir does well. Gets himself into a crossing position. Plays it short. Cuba! And the shot's blocked and set up well there for Sian Cuba. Was just unable to... That one on goal. It was well defended there from the Knights. Towns. Kerr. Collision there on that far side. Marzi. Well defended by Wellsmore, getting back and snuffing out that Knights attack. Just looking around the grounds today. Another afternoon kickoff, Kickoff 15 minutes after this one. Altona, Preston Lions. Still 0-0 out at Paisley Park. Big game for both of those two teams. Preston, chance to go back into fifth with a win today. After Hume's win against Green Gully saw them leapfrog the Lions. Altona looking to continue what has been a very impressive run of form in their last 3 games. So, to continue the good times are the Magic. Edwards back to Pisani. If Altona do win today, it will be mentioned 4 wins in a row and would put themselves going from a team that was right in that relegation dogfight to being a team perhaps as a finals bolter in the second half of this season. Skamara goes all the way back to Manos and a nervous moment there and clears it away. Hurd does well, cool, calm to play it short there to Carrigan. Here's Werndl, who's had a impressive performance so far today, particularly started this game so strongly. Keeping Manny Agwork at bay, but was unable to do too much about Agwork bundling home the go-ahead goal for Avondale, a diving header to give the Avengers the lead, essentially with the last play of that first half. Wellsmore, Cuba playing it back to Manos, and Wellsmore hits the deck, and it'll be a free kick going to the former Oakley defender. Emlyn Wellsmore has been such a great pickup for Avondale this season, a player that last year was so important for the Cannons, scored the game-winning goal in the NPL Victoria Grand Final last season, playing a myriad of different positions. The physio will be coming on here to have a look at Emlyn Wellsmore, who's prone on the deck there. More football in the NPL's on tonight, of course, with Langwarrin and Kingston in action as well in VPL 1. That's 1-1 down at Lawton Park. We have Bulleen against George Cross at City Vista. Big game for those two sides battling promotion, and FC Melbourne Serbia against Manningham as well. Manningham, of course, went down against Avondale in the Cup in midweek. Still on the bench for the Avengers is Blake Carpenter, Stefan Zinni and Joey Katavian. And of course backup goalkeeper Mayan. So it remains to be seen whether Wellsmore will be able to continue, but it's going to exit the play for the time being. Blake Carpenter, who is on the bench, a fullback by trade, someone who they might look at. Still looking for his first appearance of the season, of course, been riddled by injuries, so his opportunity may come. Later in this contest, so play will continue. Wellsmore still receiving words there from the Avondale physio, making sure he's all good to go and continue in this contest. Manos sends it long. Werndl. Kerr. So is Agwek, and it's out for a throw-in. Kerr very impressive in that first half. Here he is taking the throw-in. Was so close minutes before Agwek's goal to giving Avondale the lead, but just was unable to steer his effort on target. Werndl knocking it behind and out for a corner. Avondale want to make sure of this one and build on their great end to that first half, which saw them take the lead. Kerr on corner duties. Tall timber up from the back as the ball is floated in and it almost falls there to Kamara. Still battling for it is Kamara. Tavir twists, turns, goes to ground and wins his side a free kick. Luca Tavir has just been everywhere today. One of the great signings this season coming across from Green Gully. Player with immense ability who was just slotted in seamlessly for Avondale. And if there ever was a player that fits the way that Zoran Markovski wants his midfielders to play, Luka Tavir fits the mould beautifully. Here he is alongside Sian Cuba, standing over this free kick. So more defending for the Knights to do. See Sian Cuba in a load of space on the edge of the box. If has to go straight from Tavir's boot, who plays along the deck and straight into the wall and out for another throw in. It's that free kick, perhaps a play straight from the training field. Goes to waste, but the defending's still not over yet as Cuba threw in towards Manny Agwek. Heard, not cleared. Here's Dunlop. Does well to get past Cuba. Goes back the other way. Edwards, against his former teammate, does well to win the free kick against Dunlop. These two, of course, formerly of the Port Melbourne Sharks. He's unable to get in behind Edwards, and Edwards did really well just to slow that play down and not allow Dunlop to get in behind. Marzi. Free kick award there to the Knights. There's a bit of afters here between Kerr and Marzi. Referee Ugo Arslan have a conversation to the players involved in that little skirmish. But it will be a free kick here for Melbourne Knights. Still plenty of time in this game for them to turn this one around. Still looking for their first points away from home this year. Bottom of the table in an unfamiliar position. Staring down the barrel of relegation this season unless they can turn things around the second half of this year. Looking for their first points under John Markovski. Their first win against Avondale at Avenger Park as well. And their first win against Avondale in 6 years. They haven't won since 2019. Against the Avengers as White's ball into the area. Sits up into a dangerous position. Tavir clears it away and Nicolaides went to ground. Heard did very well to skip through a few challenges and Agwek wins it back. Kerr back in board towards Manny Agwek. Tavir back to Agwek. Tavir goes to ground. Throwing one there for the Knights. Throw-in taken quickly. And for Lawless. Calls for a high boot, go unanswered. There'll be a throw-in there to Avondale, and John Markovski and the Avondale bench, Melbourne Knights bench, not best pleased with that one. They felt they should have had a free kick. Pisani. Edwards, back to Pisani. Ahmed. Heard. Here's Dunlop. Shooting here for the Knights. Dunlop does well, but forced to retreat to White. Here's Heard. Again looking to make something happen and played from Yusuf Ahmed to win his side a throw-in. So it's been a big week for Melbourne Knights, of course. The new board set to take over at the club. President Simon Pinchich stepping down in his role as club president. The new board, of course, who will take over formally. Let's come back to that as Marzi goes for goal with a digged effort. It's just over the bar. Leo Marzi's looked very dangerous throughout this entire afternoon and did well to create the opportunity for himself. But it's going back to that previous point. The new board coming in, taking over fully on June 13th of the club. Oh, it's almost a turnover at the back there. Kamara nods it away. White, Lawless, the back heel trying to play it through to his teammate, and Wellsmore's there to chop it out. Towns. Wellsmore, strong challenge there from Lawless. He did well, but throw in here for Avondale. He's Bramwell, sort of ride the challenges and all the way back to Carrigan. And for Hurd, and that's gone out of bounds and out for a throw-in. Edwards, Ahmed. Wins his side a throw-in. Just over an hour played. Still Avondale lead 2-1. Knights have been able to put the home side under a bit of pressure in the last few minutes, but unable to get the game back on level pegging. They've been gallant so far. They had the lead, but that 1-2 punch before the break putting the Avengers back in front as Ahmed. Edwards. Crossfield ball finds Kerr. Cuba let it run. Kerr back towards Cuba. Here's Tavir in a shooting position. Luca Tavir. Great save from Marty. And it's cleared away from Wernzel. A beautiful invention there on the edge of the area. Luca Tavir just able to scoop it out from underneath him. But a really good save there from Marty. Not to claw that one away. It's a chance here for Kerr. Tavir. It's another mightily impressive performance has Luca Tavir. Here's Pisani. All the way back there to Manos. Just waiting for their moment. The Avengers to slowly work their way out of the back line here. Agwek. Turned over. But getting back and did well to get there ahead of Morton. Pisani, and here's Tavir. Avondale go again. Plays alongside him, but Luca Tavir can take it upon himself. Still going here, Tavir. And it falls there to Cuba. And a good save there from Marty. And it's set up well there for Sian Cuba, but Marty read it just as well. Got down to his right to deny the Queenslander. No stranger to goals is Sian Cuba, but still looking for his first in 2025. Wernzel. Nicolaides steps through. All over the top looking for the run there of Bramwell, but it's well defended again there by Kamara. Kerr. Tavir. Great footwork again there from Luca Tavir, just happy to recycle possession there through Pisani. Well played again there from Kerr. Here's Cuba, back to Kerr, goes to ground, free kick awarded. Will that be a yellow card going to Jack Morton as well? Yes, it will. So Morton goes into the referee's notebook. First booking of the day. Jack Morton have his first yellow card of the season. Hassani. Edwards to Ahmed. Step overs and feeds it through there to Edwards, who's done well there on the overlap. And he's still going here, Daniel Edwards. Bearing down on goal. Edwards with a beautiful finish. A fantastic solo goal from Daniel Edwards to double Avondale's lead. He's second of the season. And that was beautiful work there from the fullback. Slalomed his way through the Melbourne Knights defence. And gives Avondale a 3-1 advantage here. Daniel Edwards in game number 99 in NPL Victoria, will play his 100th next week. Scoring a rare goal. Only his 4th in this competition. He's 2nd of the season. And a hammer blow there to Melbourne Knights, who were leading in this contest for a goal to the good. But Avondale have just put the foot down since then and done what they have done to so many teams for many years in this competition. Now looking to close this one out and return to the top of the table. Such an impressive performance from them as almost another turnover. Carrigan plays it through. Ball flicked over the top. Rolls through there to Thomas Manos. It looks like a substitution is in the offing for the Melbourne Knights. As Kamara feeds it through. Kerr. Ahmed in a load of space on this near side if they can find him, and they do. That's a beautiful ball from Kerr. Here's Ahmed in a crossing position. His players waiting in the middle. Stops, props. Hurd does well to put Ahmed under pressure. Ahmed still going and wins his side a corner. Well defended there from Hurd to get back and deny Yui Ahmed a chance to either have a strike on goal or set one up for one of his teammates. Cuba now with the corner. Ball whipping to another dangerous position, but the free kick's awarded against the Avengers. And we will see a double substitution here for the Melbourne Knights. And it is going to be Mark Patheriotis and Masatu Chiba. So Masatu Chiba back for his first appearance since all the way back against Preston, which came in early April. So back from injury. Fraser Dunlop will make way along with Steve White. Masatu Chiba did score against St Albans in their last victory. And Mark Patheriotis, the former Melbourne Victory youth player, coming on here. A goal to his name this season. Play with immense ability. It's a key part of particularly Victory's second half of the season last year in their push for promotion. See if they're able to add a little bit of invention in the final third for the Knights to try and turn this one around. Hassani helps up the line. Ahmed winning the header. Towns. Cuba Does well to skip past Werndl. Looking for the run there of Kerr. Kerr isolated with Nicolaides. Gets to the byline. Good save there from Marty. Agwek, another great save there from Marty. And really well played there from the night shot stopper to tonight. Both Kerr and Agwek. It was a nervous moment at the back there, and well, Avondale have won themselves a corner. Tom Werndl had no idea that there was a player behind him, and he's turned it over in a very short performance from Werndl today, but John Markovski not happy. He believes his side should have had a free kick there as Tavir into the area, nodded away. Cuba. Avondale happy just to calm things down. They have a 9-day break after this before their next game against Melbourne Victory on King's birthday, the home of the Matildas. For a busy run of games, of course, playing in midweek against Manningham at PT Connor Reserve. A chance for them to rest up after what's been a heavy slate of fixtures as Ahmed cutting inside, still going Yui Ahmed. Here's Edwards in a crossing position, plays on the deck. Ahmed again! He has his second. That combination between Edwards and Ahmed delivers once more. And that should be the game right there. Champagne football there from the Avengers. And they're closing in on yet another victory. Win number 13 of the season. And going back to the top of the ladder. Yusuf Ahmed hitting the scoreboard yet again. He's 5th of the season. He's 48th in NPL Victoria, closing in on the half-ton. And, well, it's set to be a welcome return now for Blake Carpenter. It's to make his first appearance of the season. It'll be a triple change. Stefan Zinni and Joey Katabian as well to be called upon to see this one out. But great to see Blake Carpenter make his return. And Yui Ahmed, after firing home a brace, will be coming off here. Blake Carpenter, Luca Tavir as well will be making way here for the Avengers. Stefan Zinni will be coming on in his place. And it will be as well Kerr, who has also put in another big shift today, to be replaced here by Joey Katabian. So Avondale emptying out their bench with yet another win on the horizon for them. Survived the early scare, but now on their way to what's going to be yet another victory for them. Blake Carpenter's last game coming all the way back on July 27. It's his last league fixture against Green Gully. It's a 6-1 win. It's had to wait just over 10 months. But now back on the field, and great to see that number 14 will play the rest of this game by the looks of it at left wing. And here's Bramwell. Plays it short, but Theriotis couldn't get there, and it's cleared away. Zinni chasing that one down, and here's Emblem Wellsmore on the overlap. And here go Avondale again. They want a 5th. Zinni looking for the run there of Agwek. Agwek able to chase it down. Has Carpenter short. Carpenter skips past his man and goes for goal. And would have loved the goal with his first few touches of the game. But sent that one flying over the crossbar, Blake Carpenter. His 115th appearance in NPL Victoria for Carpenter. Unable to add to his tally there. And to his goal tally, that is. Very rare goal scorer is Blake Carpenter, only the 14 to his name. Wellsmore. Zinni, great touch there. His players lining up in the middle. Not a bad ball. Agwek's waiting for it. Just beat the Avondale attacker, and here is Carpenter. Recycles possession all the way back to Joey Katabian. So Avondale into top of the table after this win here. And to secure the premiership this year, of course, we did the double in 2023. Last season, it was Leo Marzi's pulled up a bit lame after that challenge, and that's the last thing Melbourne Knights want to see. It's been such a... The day had started with so much promise when they led, and Leo Marzi, who's just come back from injury in the last few weeks, has hit the deck, and this is not good news. Be seen if it's just cramp or whatever it might be, but Leo Marzi immediately after that challenge hitting the deck and going to ground. So next 4 games for Avondale. Melbourne Victory away, St Albans at home, a team in St Albans that as well, similarly to Victory and the Knights, desperate for points. Then 2 massive games after that. Preston away from home and Dandy Thunder at home as well. Sprinkled in there at some point as well. They'll play the Thunder again in the Cup, which will be for a place in not only the semi-finals of the Doherty Cup, but a place in the national stages of the Australia Cup, as Darcy Anastovsky will come on here for Leo Marzi for the remainder of this contest. Anastovsky was signed in mid-season, formerly of the Altona Magic and Melbourne Victory, coming on here for the final 15-odd minutes of this game. For Melbourne Knights, though, up next, Oakley at home, and Port Melbourne away, Green Gully at home, Melbourne Victory away. Such a tough trip coming up to take on a team like the Oakley Cannons. Of course, it is at home, but Oakley, the last few weeks starting, or especially the last couple of weeks, starting to rediscover some of their best football. So another tough test coming up for the Knights after this week, as Carrigan looks to feed it through. Edwards, well played there from Lawless to win it back. Here's Morton. Bramwell. Lawless feeds it through. Patheriotis will get on the end of it, plays it along the deck, and the run comes late. That was Anastovsky. He's in a good position there, but just unable to beat Manos. Was a good stop. Darcy Anastovsky looking for an immediate impact since coming on and looking for his second of the season. Pisani, Katabian, feeds it through to Cuba, lays it on to Towns, and here go the Avengers again. Zinni, well played there. Getting back was Nicolaides. Oh, immediately under pressure there was Mati. And Agwek, who is looking for yet another goal. He's just been in red-hot form over the last few weeks. Goals in each of his last 5 league games. It's having some impact in his return to NPL Victoria. Here's Bramwell. Well defended there by Pisani. Morton, Katabian, strong challenge. Patheriotis is heard off short. Essentially there to Bramwell. The shooting position, Kieran Bramwell, but just pops it wide there, the West Australian. Unable to get one back there for the Knights. It's been a very Well, it started off as an afternoon which looked like they could potentially get something from this game, led through Stephen Lawless, but that quick fire double before the break really took the wind out of Melbourne Knights' sails, and Avondale have really put the foot down the second half. And it has, for the most part in this second 45, been one-way traffic for the home side, who have done what they have done to so many teams this season already. Anastovsky goes for goal, and not a bad effort there from Darcy Anastovsky. Of course, came very close to scoring with one of his first touches, and not a bad effort there on one of his second or third. Kamara. Towns. Ethan Bassani's put in a very assured display in the second half since coming on. Been very solid. Getting his opportunity today, of course. No Aiden Bryce, no Matt Reid. Expect that it won't be far away, and good news for Avondale fans seeing them go through their run-throughs before the game. Handy ins in the final stretch of this season, not only in the league but in the cup as well. Now a team that into themselves some more silverware this season as Agwek. Towns does well to get past Chiba. Out wide there to Zinni. Looking to cut inside Zinni. Shot block, still a chance here for Zinni. Goes to ground. And it was a handball against Stefan Zinni. Just didn't keep his feet there, did the Avondale attacker. Only the 5 starts this season for Zinni. He's had a few injury problems. He had such a good season last year. Just ticked over 51 goals in NPL Victoria has Stefan Zinni. One of their most prolific attackers for many years at the Avengers. See Tom Werndl on the deck there. All good now and set to continue after a brief stoppage. And around the ground, still 0-0 is the score out at Paisley Park between Altona and the Preston Lions. Big game for both of those two teams, particularly for Preston. They want to get themselves back into 5th after Hume's win last night and keep themselves in touch with those sides. The top end of the table looking for a potential home final. So a bit of a word here, referee Ugo Arslan. John Markovsky believes it should be a Melbourne Knights' ball. And it's going to be a drop ball for the resumption here. And they'll just to close this one out. As Werndl stepping forward. Towns does well to win it back. Has players in support. Can they add a 5th here? Carpenter fires on goal. And it's a bit of a cross-come shot in the end. And Zinni was waiting at the back post. And it's out for a goal kick. So Avondale set to record their 12th win against Melbourne Knights, complete the clean sweep against them this year. Their first win at home against Melbourne Knights since that preliminary final win in 2023. Melbourne Knights' wait for a win at Avenger Park will continue. In fact, a win at all against Avondale set to continue beyond a 6th year. This win, of course, coming all the way back in 2019 as the ball's fed through. Zinni looking to get him behind, but a great challenge from Werndl, who's been one of the bright sparks today for Melbourne Knights. Anastovsky brings under his control. Going to cut inside. Petheriotis. Bramwell fires on his left, and it's well over the bar there from the West Australian and out for a goal kick. That last win coming all the way back on July 5, 2019. It was Attila Offley and Hamish Watson who scored on that evening. Wellsmore. Bassani looking to slowly play out from the back. Edwards, what a brilliant goal to extend Avondale's lead. It's had a massive impact today as well, getting an assist for Yusuf Ahmed. Slotting in at centre-back and at left-back today. His more natural position, of course, on the left. Here's Carpenter. Edwards. Back to Carpenter. So just going through the record books, the biggest win that Avondale have had in this fixture, a 6-1 and a 5-0. They're able to add to it. Certainly put themselves on the podium as ball cleared away. That 6-1 win, of course, came in 2020 before the postponement of the season due to the COVID-19 lockdown. Petheriotis out towards Bramwell. Need to make something happen here, Kieran Bramwell. Cuts inside. Still going. Out wide to Chiba. Chiba pops into the area. Nodded away by Katabian. Lawless. Chiba. Kamara did well, and the Knights will recycle possession again. And on that day, it was a Valentini double. Goals as well from Jonathan Gamano, Matt Reid, Yusuf Ahmed and Stefan Zinni. And just like that fixture, Yui Ahmed, this time though, has 2 to his name as Petheriotis in towards the back post, and Wellsmore chests it down to Manos. And easy does it for the Avengers. In fact, Avondale scored basically in every fixture between these two teams. The only times they didn't was a 0-0 draw all the way back in 2015 and that 2-0 loss, which was that last time Avondale tasted defeat against Melbourne Knights. They've just been prolific in this fixture. Knights have only won this fixture, in fact, only 3 times. Would have been a bit of a burgeoning rivalry between these two teams. So a few years ago when the squads looked a little bit different. Werndl. Edwards winning the header. Hurd. Well played from Cuba, and here's Carpenter. All turned over, and here come the Knights again. Nicolaides getting forward and has a go, and the shot was always rising, and it's out for a goal kick. Going around the grounds, Preston have opened the scoring against Altona. A big goal for Preston, and a massive result it would be if they're able to come away with all 3 points and put themselves back into 5th and keep themselves knocking on the door of the top 4 who have been able to get a little bit of separation on the ladder. And importantly for them as well, keep themselves out of that logjam of teams that are battling for a final spot. Of course, Hume, Dandy City, Green Gully, all in that mix. Dandy City and Green Gully losing last night, of course. Gully being that side who went down against Hume, and Dandy City in a heartbreaker against Dandy Thunder at Frank Holohan Reserve. Against Dandy Thunder, 98th minute winner in that game for the Thunder in the derby. Here's Bramwell. Getting back his Carpenter. And he wins his side a throw-in. Well played there from Carpenter, who's put in a good shift since coming on his return game for the Avengers. Towns. Lovely football there from the home side. Wellsmore, Zinni, Cuba, still going. Back to Zinni. Zinni in a shooting position. Stefan Zinni. And Mati makes the save and puts it behind and out for a corner. Was never really able to make clean purchase on that one, Zinni. Mati just slowly getting down to his left and knocking it behind. So Avondale set to go a point clear of Heidelberg with this win. 5 points clear of Oakley, 6 clear of Dandy Thunder as well. Race for all-important top 2 spot. Of course, a week off in the finals as well as Katavian floats it in. Not away by Werndl. Cuba on the volley. Takes a deflection. And out for a throw-in. And Preston, of course, with that win will take them into 5th, but still a bit of work for them to do if they want to give themselves a chance at a home final. This team set to load up with the likes of Bryce and Valentini and George Ott all missing. Matt Reed. So much talent all out of this squad, and to think only the likes of Trycheski and Courtney Perkins played 45 minutes. This team are firming towards a big run in the final few rounds of this season. I think the Avengers will be feeling pretty good about where they stand going into the final 10 games of the season. 3 minutes of added time here. Katavian's ball in and Mati got a fist to it. Up for another corner, but for Melbourne Knights, they'll be rooted to the bottom of the standings. Their winless run will continue. 9 points to their name, 3 points inside the drop zone. Set to be their 8th consecutive defeat. Here's Wellsmore, fires on his left. Mati with the save, and it falls there to Kamara or Zinni. But the flag was up. And it denies both players the opportunity at adding a 5th. So it's set to be 8 consecutive defeats for Melbourne Knights. And 10 losses out of their last 11 games in the league. It's been such a tough run for them. And this season started so promisingly, winning that season opener against Heidelberg at home. Of course, a big change coming off the field for them with the new board set to take over. A new coach with John Markovski taking over from Ivan Franjic. It's Katavian with the ball over the top. Here's Cuba. He's in behind to make it 5. Gets around 1 and adds it. Adds a 5th there for Avondale. Piles on the misery for Melbourne Knights. And Tian Cuba with his first of the season seals the win for the Avengers. A little bit of extra icing on the cake there for them. They survived the scare from Melbourne Knights early, and they have just piled on the misery. And we'll go into winter top of the league. And the Avengers closing in on what's going to be another win to their name. Such an impressive season. After a little bit of a disappointing performance, particularly against Green Gully in that 5-2 loss, they've really turned things around the last few weeks. And with all these injuries, still finding a way to get it done. Avondale return to the top of the table. 5-1 winners here against Melbourne Knights. It was the Knights who led through Stephen Lawless early in this contest. Yusuf Ahmed brought one back for Avondale, and on the brink of half-time, Manny Agwek gave Avondale the lead. And the Avengers put the foot down in the second half. Dan Edwards giving Avondale a 3-1 lead. Yui Ahmed added a fourth for Avondale before Sian Cuba wrapped up the win to ensure Avondale head back to the top of the table. For Melbourne Knights, they remain rooted to the bottom of the standings. 8 straight defeats in the league and staring down the barrel of relegation with 10 games remaining. They need to turn things around and fast. But despite the green shoots shown in the first half, it was Avondale who put their foot down and are looking the goods heading into winter as they look to come away with some silverware in 2025. We'll sign off here from Avenger Park. A very happy day for Avondale coming away with all 3 points here in Parkville. The final score, Avondale 5, Melbourne Knights 1.